Right. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another session of Midweek Chatter with Wonder Girls. I'm Mabel.
And I'm Cheryl. Hope everybody's keeping well as we enter our 6th week of circuit breaker.
If you have heard our conversation earlier on, tell us in the comments if you have been to Hong Kong before. If you have, type the letters HKG in the comments. Tell us too, what do you like about Hong Kong? Is it the shopping, the food, or perhaps the great outdoors?
Meanwhile, allow me to share a little bit about ourselves if you are new to Travel Wonder. Travel Wonder is a licensed online and offline travel company based in Singapore. We specialize in active holidays. Join us in the future if you are looking for cycling, hiking, or running holidays overseas. We can also plan all sorts of vacations that you desire, from romantic getaways, rest and relaxation trips, or even family fun trips. Our website is www.travel-wonder.com. Remember to check us out when you are ready to travel.
Yes, indeed. And before we invite our guest for today, we would like to announce the winner for last week's chatter. The two viewers with the highest engagement are Miss Wong Sui Shan and Miss Angeline Tang. Congratulations!
Congratulations!
Congratulations on winning yourself a US $200 Inside Vacations voucher per person. We will be in touch with the both of you via private message on the redemption of the vouchers.
This week, we are giving away 2 souvenirs from South Korea. These 2 items are specially brought back from South Korea and is one of the top brands there. Let me show you. Okay. The first one is a 100 ml hand cream from Ihan Carino. Okay. This hand cream contains a lot of grain extracts such as licorice, quinoa, green bean, oat, and barley. Okay, the retail price of this hand cream is about $12. So now we are giving this away for the highest engagement. The other one is a CC cream, also from Ihan Carino. This is 50 ml and worth about $60. Okay.
Wow,
Yes, why is it so expensive? It's because it contains ginseng extract. It is
nice.
good for whitening, wrinkle reduction, and there is sun protection as high as SPF 50. Especially for us who engage in outdoors activities, right? SPF 50 is the most basic that we should have.
That's true.
Yeah. So Mabel, who do we have in the house today?
We have a dear friend, come ex-colleague who is now based in Hong Kong with her family. Let me bring her online now.
Hello.
Joy, hello. Joy, how has your day been so far?
My day pretty
Yes.
okay because I think in Hong Kong we're lucky because life is pretty much going back to normal. There's people out and about, people are going back to the office, the streets are crowded, the traffic jams again, but we are still having some social distancing measures in place. But it's nice that we can actually venture out of the house and just get on with our daily lives. So yeah, it's good.
Oh, that's nice.
How are you guys? So
We are
nice to see your
good.
faces. I miss you guys.
We are also good to see you. Ever since you moved to Hong Kong, we have hardly really catch up.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
true.
last time I saw you guys was we had dinner here together, right? With
Yes,
Robin and
Yes, that's
you.
that's
Yeah.
that's
Hi,
exactly the trip we
Robin.
are just talking about. Right, that's the trip that we exactly talking about. It's like 1.5 years
Yeah,
ago, Troy.
time flies.
yeah. Time really flies. Yeah.
Yeah. So before I go, let me say hello to some of our viewers. We have Johnston. Hi, good afternoon,
I
Johnston.
don't
Hi.
Yes, Angeline, you heard your name. Yes, you won yourself a prize.
continue to keep the engagement up. We have more prizes to be won.
Yeah, and hi, Robin. Robin is one of our supporter on our Facebook Live. Robin, I would like
And
to
a
give
dear
you
friend.
the CC cream. You know, regardless what is our age, all of us should maintain
Yeah.
ourselves.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I shall sit back and leave you both to chat. So to our audience, please continue to like, comment, and share. Share this broadcast out to your friends so that if they are interested to know what Troy is going to impart to us to make fluffy cupcakes. Yeah. If you have any questions to ask Troy, please feel free to share them in the comments box and we will respond to them at the end of the chatter session. So remember, we have 2 souvenirs from South Korea up for grabs. So over to you, Mabel.
Okay, see you later, Cheryl.
See you.
Okay, Troy.
Right, just you and me.
Yes, that's right. So can you remember the last time we actually met up in person? I cannot remember. I mean, other than the trip where we went to Hong Kong. Was it last year when you came back to Singapore?
I
Uh,
think probably during one of my trips home, I probably came
yeah,
by.
correct.
But I
Because you
feel
come
like
back
the
quite
last
frequently.
one was really Hong Kong because every time I come to Singapore, I'm just trying to recall. Yeah, it's been a long time, babe.
So to our
Such a
viewers,
hurry.
Troy, yeah. So to our viewers, Troy has moved to Hong Kong a few years back because of Mike's work, Mike's her husband. So how's
Mhm.
life in Hong Kong for you, Troy? And are there plans for you to relocate anytime soon?
Life in Hong Kong has been pretty good to us. It's been kind to us in terms of work prospects and stuff like that. It's a good place to build a career and get to know the industry. It's very obviously fast paced,
Mm,
very like go go go. So it's very much a world where things are it's a bit more status conscious and stuff like that. But it's very international, vibrant, dynamic city. And then you get the old and you get the new. So you can go up to like Choy Wan or Pun and you see like all these old shops selling herbs and dried spices or like fixing cars. And next door is like a cute little cafe or a bar. So I love that difference, that dichotomy of Hong Kong, the old and the new together. The only
mm-hmm.
thing that's been the was last year we had a whole year of protests, which I'm not going to go into
Okay.
too
Yeah.
well. So that was a little bit of a strain for us in terms of heading out. But people here are very resilient and strong. So it's been quite fun to live here. And it's a hub as well, like Singapore. You can just go
Mm.
anywhere nearby or to Europe easily. In terms of relocating, yeah, we might consider moving back to Singapore in a few years' time. We do miss
Okay.
home.
All right.
Yeah, we miss our friends and community. So we'll see how that goes. But for now, Hong Kong's a good place to be. So thankfully, even though it's been a time of COVID, this my husband is still able to work from home and
Ah,
stuff like
okay.
that. So that's
That's
not
good.
affected at the moment. But just, my son's stuck at home because no school. So that's been a nightmare.
24/7
Yeah.
with your son right now.
Oh yeah. He's got Zoom classes and stuff like that. But
Okay.
you know,
So I
it's
think
still a
Zoom
bit
is a
tiring.
popular thing right now. Everywhere is using Zoom. Hong Kong,
Yeah.
Singapore. Yeah.
Yeah,
So to
absolutely.
our viewers,
It's connected.
yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't hear what you're saying.
No. Go ahead. It's fine.
Oh, okay. So just to give a background on me and Choi, we used to be colleagues, and interestingly, Choi also knows both of my sisters, who are also her ex-colleagues, which is a really small world.
It is very small.
Would you like to share with us where you're working at now and what you do?
Well, I started a company last year, a social enterprise called Subta Collective.
Mm,
Actually, I was actually consulting for a Canadian company called Bannekin for a while, doing their PR, for all their travel clients, which were like niche adventure travel clients, and that was fun. But I've always wanted to do something a little bit more. So
mm-hmm.
I went to Nepal last year for not the first time, second time. I went the first time was August 2018, but I
Okay.
went there and I was hosted on a trip, and I absolutely fell in love with the destination and the people, and I saw a lot of opportunity there for growth, for development, especially for the people in the hospitality and tourism industry.
Okay.
So it was just I just wanted to do like a freelance thing, just go there and do something small. But then it kind of took a life on its own, and then I developed something with my friends called the Sapta Project, and
Yep.
basically it's a mentorship and training initiative where we
Mm,
bring specialists in their field. So we,
okay.
for example, Michelin star chef, in the restaurant industry, or it could be anyone in that kind of direction. So we want to be the bridge to connect these people to Nepal, so these students can have the opportunity to be in the presence of, say, greats who are giving them leadership and giving them mentorship and good training, so that they're empowered and inspired to become the next leaders and game changers of the industry over there. Because in Nepal, it's still a destination in terms of its community giving back and stuff like that. It's actually very much at the forefront. But in terms of things, say some vocational developments or say social media branding training, they're still lagging a little bit behind, and it's not really a destination where many people would think about going to do something. So I thought, why not just be the bridge? I know people that are well-known chefs, people who work in the hotel field, people who work in travel, just to go there and light up someone's life for a day. So that's why I started Subta Collective, to start these kind of more vocational training opportunities with global individuals to students there. But unfortunately now it's COVID, so I can't do it. Friends in the travel industry, and my hearts go out to you, because I'm stuck as well, because I had people from the travel industry supporting this endeavor and things like that. And even now in Nepal, they're on lockdown, they can't do anything. When next can we go and do something like that? We'll have to see. So but I just made the video. I don't know whether you've seen it. It's out on YouTube, called the Subta Project, and it's out on Facebook. I have a Facebook page, so you want to go and see what it is we're talking about, just go there and have a look. And it's just to bring some joy and light to people's lives, really, just to make people smile and kind of give back in a way that also, because we all love travel, right? So what better way to implementing the travel element into what we do. So we hope that we can do more next year. Obviously, I think this year everybody is very focused on recovery and saving money. So no one has the chance to really do anything, but it's a good time to plan and a good time to just show something nice and fun to people and inspire people with, some goodwill. And that's what has been keeping me busy. I was actually filming a travel show a couple of months ago in Sarawak. That was one of my latest endeavors. And of course, halfway through filming, we were 3 hours away from Kuching, about to get on a boat to a corner of the peninsula with no Wi-Fi. Okay, no Wi-Fi. Apparently, to get there and back depends on the tide of the sea. So just as we literally wait to get on the boat, we got the call saying Malaysia's going to go on MCO in 2 days. Wow! So we just hopped in the plane. So that was also up in the air. We don't even know when we can go back and film again, because there's so many elements involved. Obviously, you might have to get quarantined, and so for now, that's why we're here talking today, because you asked me what am I doing right now. So I ironically resurrected my baking business a week and a half ago in Hong Kong. Up to my ears baking. So at least you have to find a way to diversify your income stream, right? So this is one way of doing it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. But travel always is the number one part, travel, people in the industry, right? We meet so many wonderful people in what we do, and that's the number one thing for me. But you got to just do what you got to do for now in the moment.
That's true. Actually, that is a really great initiative that you have there for your Sapta collective, especially in Nepal, because Nepal is really very dependent on tourism and hospitality. And what you're doing is really giving the next generation there, how to elevate their service and all that, to welcome in more tourists in future. Yeah.
Elevate experiences, elevate their food, because there's so much untapped potential there. Like I would say India is a place, if you go to Mumbai or Delhi or something, or Kerala, you'll find like a nice Michelin star restaurant somewhere, or like really like well-made food and stuff like that. That's a bit more different and unique. But over in Nepal, it's still in that beginning stages. That's where the opportunity lies. But now, now the country is suffering, because obviously there's no tourism whatsoever. So, but I'll be working. I still keep in touch very closely with my community over there, and we're good friends. So we always say, look, if we come back this year, we're just gonna go back on a casual basis, just to say hi and just do something casual, and go there and help support the industry. But yeah, that's lies, right? It's just because I think maybe you also understand this. The travel industry. Okay, maybe in Singapore, for example, the travel industry is not, say, a very lucrative industry to be in, because from young in Singapore, Malaysia, you've been told you gotta be a lawyer, doctor, medical field, or accountant or something, to earn the money. But in Nepal, the travel industry is a lucrative industry to be in, because when people get to study and they work in, say, a hotel or work in a restaurant or like as a general manager, they earn enough money to break the cycle of poverty if their family is going through poverty. That means whatever they earn is enough to keep their lives well and afloat and pay for their entire family and their living. So
I
actually,
see.
for this opportunity to even grow up there and get higher, they actually will make a better life for themselves, and then you get them excited about what they can potentially do, and then you retain the talent and retain the people back and say, I wanted to do something great for my country. Usually they will all get exported out to study or work in other countries, and then they
Yep.
come back. But how do we program so they go, oh, maybe I should stay home and do this. Maybe I should stay home and make something
Yeah, there's
amazing
no
happen.
need to go elsewhere to do it.
Yeah, I don't have
Yeah.
to always go elsewhere. I can stay home and be proud of my
True.
country and
True
offer.
that.
And a lot of people in the industry there. I think in Singapore it's a good mix of there's a young and old, not to say old, but there's the experienced masters of tourism like Robin himself. But there's also young blood like you. You know, there's a very good combination of voices all around to give new ideas, to generate new ways of traveling in tourism. But
Yep.
in Nepal, it's very much an elder, like an older generation type of thing in the industry.
Okay.
So
Yep.
hope that by doing these subtle projects, we inject a bit more flavor, and these kids would then come voice and help be those that also help to progress the country for their tourism and hospitality needs.
Okay. Okay. That's good. Yeah. Everybody should check out Sapta Collective, find out
Thank
more.
you.
Okay, now I bring it back to Hong Kong. I just recently I saw you went to an interesting island to Hong Kong,
Yes,
right? A few weekends ago.
yes, yes.
Can you share a little bit more about that?
So it's called Ping Chow,
Uh-huh.
and it's really so we only went there because our friend went for a weekend, and then we're like, where's this island? Because they were starting to opening up the ferries and stuff. It's only 30 minutes from Hong Kong. If you're in Hong Kong next time, remember Central Pier 6,
Okay.
and it's a tiny fishing village. It's nothing. It's very, very random, very simple. But when you go inside, then you walk in the little alleys. So the people live very together. The houses are built like literally like this. You can like talk to your neighbor across the way.
Wow. Okay.
And they've got this alley called the old factory. What's it called? Old factory something, leather factory alley. So it used to be a leather factory, but then
Yeah.
they made it into like this. Basically, I would describe it as like an Instagram spot because everything is like
Okay.
cool, quirky. It's like a broken Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
You know, like all these
Yes.
tin features around and like spray paint graffiti and statues and things, little coffee bars inside. So it's like a little hidden gem in the middle of nowhere. It's absolutely wonderful. Like you feel like this is not Hong Kong, but it was nice to see this part of Hong Kong. Then when you go outside, you can see
Yeah.
all the old boats still sitting out by the sea, and everyone's waiting to go out and get their catch for the day. So apparently the
Okay.
seafood there is really good. I saw like Lai Liu Ha, like, the Lai Liu Ha was still alive and kicking. People were buying the Lai Liu Ha. I actually was so tempted to get some, but I thought on a ferry back with this, nah. But yeah, to go and just see a different side of Hong Kong and see how people live a sort of more simpler, homely life in a small island. There's this Peng Chau, there's Chung Chau. Chung Chau I've not been, but I want to go because they're famous for the Bun Festival. But I don't think they're having it this year because of
Yeah.
basically they built this massive tower of buns, and the men have to climb up there and bring the buns down. It's quite interesting. So Hong Kong's got this side of these little cute
Yeah.
offset islands. You can just go and have a really good time. It's not just all like city, eat. You can really see humble fisherman's life. It still exists here.
It's more rustic and then also more laid back, very
Yeah,
different from the city life.
very, very. And they have their own version of belacan here
Huh?
as well in
Oh,
Hong Kong.
okay. That's interesting.
They make the village. There's a village called Tai O.
Ah.
So it's quite that one's on Lansdowne Island. You got to take a ferry to Mui Wo. Then you take a bus. It's like an hour, but it's really worth it.
Okay.
Really like built on stilts. And the belacan there is really tasty. It's not as pungent as our Singaporean Malaysian belacan,
Okay.
but it's good. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Thank you so much for sharing. I mean, you really made me want to go back there and explore all the different small little fishing islands around Hong Kong. Yeah. So audience, type hike in the comment if you have hiked or explored other areas around Hong Kong before. Remember, we have 2 souvenirs from South Korea to be given out to the viewers with the highest engagement. And okay, I think, Troy, I think there's enough talking on our side. I've been stalking your Instagram and always salivating over your food stories and also all your baking stuff, all your cakes, your cupcakes, especially now that you relaunch your Cake in a Cup business.
Yeah.
So to everyone here, Choy bakes super delicious cakes and cupcakes. And we are very excited that she is willing to share a simple recipe that you can easily replicate from home. And what are the tricks to making the cupcakes fluffy, and also and she also demonstrate how to pipe the cupcakes into different styles, so that you can impress your guests the next time you bake some cupcakes yourself. Okay, I'll be handing over to you, Troy. So
Yep.
to everybody out there, please continue to like, comment, and share. And Troy, now it's all up to you to do the demonstration.
Okay, guys, welcome to Choy's Baking Show. So I was asked to make some cupcakes today, and they said, "Do you want to do like your vanilla or your basic cupcakes? But why don't I do something close to home?" And that's been a real big hit in Hong Kong with Malaysian Singaporeans, and that is onde onde cupcakes. So I'll show you all my ingredients. So you won't see my face so much for this part. I'll just show you all my ingredients. So I really miss the taste and flavors of home. So I wanted to recreate this in Hong Kong so that whenever we want to eat something Southeast Asian, we have it in our hands. But to get started, so what makes a really, really, really good fluffy cupcake? First thing first is your ingredients, like the butter and your eggs and your liquids, have to always be at room temperature. Never cold or never too hot. And you can tell, especially with the butter, you take your finger, you press down on it. It should leave an indent, but it shouldn't be melting. It should still be a little bit firm. That's what you call room temperature butter. I just learned all this, watching YouTube recently. So, this lady's been really good. So always make sure that's important. So what you do next is you take your butter. So the basic thing when you want to do any kind of sort of cupcake baking, to get a good texture, butter first. Okay, so I put the butter into my mixer. I have a KitchenAid stand here. If you don't have one, you can always use a hand mixer, but hand mixers sometimes get a little bit too whippy. They whip up really, really fast. So I prefer definitely a KitchenAid. Okay, so that's the butter in there. Then you're gonna add your sugar. So for this recipe, so for the butter, I had 125 grams of plain unsalted butter. Then for the next part, I have actually 80 grams of brown sugar and 45 grams of caster sugar. Don't get the normal white sugar. It has to be caster because caster sugar is very, very fine. So that goes in next here. And if you have one of these at home, it's a rubber spatula. They'll save your life. Great for getting all the little scrapes out. All right, that's the butter in. And then to make things a bit more hyung, as they say, I add in some vanilla. So this is 1 teaspoon of really good vanilla. Now, vanilla makes all the difference too, okay? You can get your generic brands from Poon Huat and stuff like that. Mine is a little bit more, mine's an organic brand called Simply Organic. And the difference is basically the smell and the flavor. Because sometimes the cheaper vanilla extracts can have a bit more alcohol in them, which dilutes the taste of the vanilla. So, okay, so here we go. So now I'm gonna mix this for three minutes. So get it on slow first, and then take it up to medium. So beating it for 3 minutes makes the batter really nice and fluffy. So you want to wait for the texture of the butter to be nice and fluffy. Now I'm going to just put the time for 3 minutes. Okay. And while that's going on and stuff like that, all you can do is you start preparing your cupcake tin. So I've got like these little wrappers in here, and you can just start preparing that as you go along. Now, a really good tip as well, let me just put this up a little bit while that's mixing. A really good tip as well when you're doing your baking is to always have everything prepared out at the same time. So make sure you get the right measurements and the right ingredients, and then you won't be so clam kabut when you actually want to go and bake. And an important thing as well, if you notice, I mentioned grams. So I used to bake using cup measurements, right? So I like 1 cup, 2 cup, 3/4 cup. But actually, the correct and the best way to be really, really accurate is to use a scale. So I'll show you the scale that I have. So I know it might be a bit mafan, but this is a digital scale. So basically, you put your bowl on there, you put it down back to 0, and you measure all your ingredients on there. And each time you'll get an accurate measurement of all your ingredients, and your cupcakes should come up perfect every single time. Because when you do like the cups, sometimes it could be 5 to 10 grams off, and that also can affect the quality and the texture of the cake. Robin misses my Christmas turkey. Wow, Robin, that was so long ago. Okay. Important thing too, clean up as you go. So when you're done with the bowls, put them in the sink right away before you begin the next step. Okay. That's looking nice and fluffy. It's getting there. I'll just show that to you. If anyone's really interested, I recommend that you do get a KitchenAid. It's expensive. I bought this from Harbourfront in 2006. I paid nearly $700 for it, and at the time I thought, oh my god, I'm wasting my money because I was young and just earning. But it has lasted 14 years and it is still going strong. It's not failed me yet, so which is really amazing. So it's a really good investment to have if you want to do more baking or serious baking. Okay, so this is about nearly done. I'll show you the vanilla that I'm using so you can see the actual brand I'm using. It's this one here, Simply Organic. It's amazing. It smells really, really, really good. It really gives a very strong vanilla flavor. All right, that's my alarm. Now, next step is we take the mixer down to a slow. And I'm going to put this way. And next thing we're going to do is the eggs. So all you need are 2 room temperature eggs, not cold eggs, never cold eggs, room temperature eggs. And what I would do is I'll crack them into a bowl here first, one by one, before I pour it in, because you never know, it might have little bits of, gritty things in there in case. So you want to just check it that it's fine in the bowl first. So that goes in. So let that go for a little bit, 10 seconds to get it in, and then you turn it up. And you whip that until maybe it's nice and combined. Just about 30 seconds. Sometimes the eggs and the butter mixture might curdle when you're mixing them together, but don't worry, it's completely normal. Just keep whipping for a while. And then once you add your flour later, it actually will be fine. So don't worry about that. Okay, that looks nice and mixed. And now we put the other egg in. Oops. Winds go back slow. Okay, up again. And don't forget, sometimes, well, it's important to scrape down the sides of your bowl when you are doing this, because sometimes they get stuck to the top and you want it to be really well combined. Okay. That's going, and that's how it sort of looks like right now. See, it's coming together. It's lighter and it's fluffier.
Wow, it looks really good.
So make sure this gets whipped really well for, another 30 seconds or so. It's about that. So I'm going to put this up to my face for a while because I'm going to explain the next part. And this is the trick to getting your cupcakes fluffy. Okay, so that's done. So I'm going to just turn it off for a moment while I talk to you. So there's this method you have to do called the dry and the wet. So some cake methods, when you're mixing, they'll throw in all the flour, mix that, and then throw in all the liquid. But there's a scientific effect to actually doing it in thirds. So what you do is you pour in the flour in 1/3, and then the wet, and then the flour, and then the wet, and then the end with the flour. And that makes things really nice and light. And always sift all your ingredients. Don't get lazy. Sift everything. So for the dry ingredients, I have 125 grams of flour in here. I have a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. I have a 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda and 1/2 a teaspoon of baking powder. Now you might wonder why salt, because salt is actually elevates flavor. So don't think of it as an enemy when you use it in baking. There's actually again another chemical reaction whereby it just makes all the flavors come to life on your taste buds. So it's good to have salt. So make sure you sift all that together. Okay, that's the dry, and then this is the wet. So I have in here 2 tablespoons of coconut milk. Get really good coconut milk. I have 2 tablespoons of pandan juice. I literally took the leaf and I used my cold presser, which is it's a Cuvings brand. I cold press all the juice out. It's a bit of work, but I feel like when you have real pandan juice, it's the real pandan taste. I only have about 1/2 to 1/4 teaspoon of extract in here, just to give it a little bit more of a green color. But I understand not all of you may want to do the work into getting pandan juice out. And I heard the old-fashioned way was to, tumbuk the whole thing and then put it in water and squeeze it out. So if you don't have pandan juice at home, you can use extract. Then I recommend you just use 1 teaspoon of extract only. Don't do 2 tablespoons equivalent to the juice. It's going to be way, way, way too much and it'll taste kind of fake. So just 1 teaspoon should render enough pandan flavor from an extract point of view. Okay, so that's the part. And now this is how we do this. So back on. I just give it a little bit more of a mix. Okay, then back on slow. And then you take your spoon and you just gently put in 1/3 of the dry ingredients. And then you alternate. So 1/2 of the liquid goes in, so in a slow drip motion. So this recipe makes about 12 cupcakes, yeah? Then you do your other 1/3 of flour in. Be very patient with this part and keep it on low the whole time, yeah? And then finally the rest of the liquid. That goes in, and that smells so nice and pandan already. Amazing. The rest of the flour goes in. Keep it on low, and you see that's mixing really nicely, and then stop. That's the trick to fluffy cupcakes. You don't want to overbeat your batter, because when you do that, you create too much air inside it. So when it gets into a small cup like this, it will suddenly expand really, really fast, get really high. Then because there's too much air and it's not a stable foundation, the cake will sink. So when you keep it on low to ensure that all the flour and liquid has gone in, maybe like after the final flour is gone in, you keep it like on a little spin for about 10 to 15 seconds and you finish it. That's it. Okay, that's the cupcakes done. It's not that hard, and it's actually quite fast to make because cakes can take a lot of time. But with cupcakes, you're probably looking at an hour and 20, hour and a half to render to complete it from start to finish. So now it looks a little bit like this, a little bit messy. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna slowly fold the rest of the flour in. So this is how you fold. Just gently, gently. So then you see everything is together. Oh, it smells so nice. I wish you all can be here to taste it. So lovely. Oh, yum. And it's that beautiful, nice green color. It's not too light and it's not too green. So it looks more natural, right?
Yeah, that's
Hence, I only
right.
put a bit of extra in. So that's the color. Because sometimes when you see it so green, you know it's a fake pandan. You
Yeah,
know what I
that's
mean?
true.
Taste of home. So that's the batter. So then what you do is, I forgot to mention this as well. At the beginning, before you start baking, you preheat your oven to 160 degrees C. And to get a really accurate reading, because sometimes certain ovens, the temperature fluctuates or deviates because it's an older oven or young or newer oven, or it's a electric or it's a gas oven. I have a gas oven here in Hong Kong, so I always use my oven thermometer, which looks like this. So I it's also a meat thermometer, but I basically put it in and I can actually see the accurate time on here, on accurate temperature on here. So when it reaches that temperature, then I know that I can bake my cupcakes. Because sometimes you might feel like the heat is correct, but actually it's not. So my oven, I've noticed, takes 15 to sometimes 20 minutes to heat up to the exact temperature. So if I actually bake my cupcake, say after preheating it for 10 minutes, it's actually not going to bake correctly. It might result in some lumpy parts or some higher peaks or flatter peaks, or not even rise at all. So just be mindful of this as well to create that fluffy cupcake. So okay, so you preheat the oven, and then what you do to spoon your cupcakes is very easy. So people like to use 2 spoons, but I have an ice cream scooper because it just makes life so much easier. So for a cupcake like this, I wouldn't take a whole scoop. I'd probably say 2/3 of the scoop filled with batter, and then you scoop it into the tins. So here we go, like that, and then pop. It's so satisfying doing this. So this recipe isn't too sweet, what I've just shared with you. I like desserts, but I don't like it when it's terribly sweet. But this just has enough sweetness that it balances everything out. So just put that in. Is there anyone want to comment, like what kind of cupcakes do you like to eat, or what other desserts do you like to eat? Because I'm actually thinking of developing some other home flavors besides onde onde. Because I've got some Sarawak coffee in my cupboard, and I really want to make a
Oh,
Sarawak coffee cupcake.
that
Wouldn't
sounds
that be
really
nice?
good.
It sounds good, right? I
Yeah.
also thinking of doing a teh tarik cupcake. And I don't know, Mabel, if you remember, I used to make Milo cupcakes. Do you remember that?
Yes,
I
yes,
brought it to the
remember.
office.
So good.
Yes, Milo cupcakes. So I really want to bring, some of those flavors back because like I mentioned earlier, because there's actually a lot of Singaporeans and Malaysians working here. So when they hear onde onde cupcakes, they are like, oh my God, really? They just miss home so much. They can't go back and see their families or have like say their
Yeah,
mom cook for them. So when they
true.
eat the onde onde that I make, I get very happy because it's like, you're sharing home with them.
Yeah,
You're
that's
sharing a
right.
piece of home.
Is it easy to
It's
get
nostalgic.
pandan leaf in Hong Kong?
Okay, yeah. So yes, it is. I found a lady in Wan Chai Market of all places. She knows I'm a pandan girl already because I've been going in there literally every 1.5 days, and I literally buy up all the pandan in the shop because they don't have like a lot of stock per se, but enough to
Ah,
cover my needs. Anyway,
okay.
so this is my yeah, but it's her pandan comes from Thailand, so
Oh,
at least I
wow.
know I can. Yeah, so at least I know I have the opportunity. So she stocks it, and there was one lady in Kennedy Town. She also stocks it, but hers was quite expensive to the point I was like quite shocked. But
Oh,
this one lady in Wan Chai, she has it really quite cheap, and she's got all like the gula melaka in there. She's all like the Thai Indonesian ingredients. So we're lucky here in that sense that we still can get those flavors. But I don't know
yeah.
anybody here making like onde onde cupcake or anything like that. Maybe some pandan cake. Because Hong Kongers love pandan. So apparently, every time they go to Singapore or Malaysia, they will go to Bengawan Solo and buy up a storm. So,
Oh,
but
yeah.
most of the people, yes, they go absolutely nuts for the
pandan cake.
Bengawan. Yeah, exactly. But here so far, it's mostly been Singaporeans and Malaysians that have ordered. Massive community here. It's really quite nice to meet other fellow similar people to yourself and reminisce
Yeah.
about home.
True.
Yeah. So okay, these are the cupcakes are done.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes you might miss a hole or so. So just Julie steals and just adjust the batter accordingly. So fill it up about 2/3 full. When you have
Okay.
2/3 full, it actually will rise up really well. So I'm gonna put these aside. I have some I've already made and frosted, so I'll just show it to you how it looks like. Okay, that's that. It's like I'm really on those Food Network shows.
Yeah.
And I have this other one coming up from the oven. It comes out of the oven. This is the frosted version of the cupcake. Song is very progressive, but not in Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi sucks. Okay, I have no optic fibers in my neighborhood, and since COVID, it's been absolute crap. So I apologize. But that was the best part coming.
Yes, that's right.
So basically this is how the cupcake looks like in the end. But this is actually very easy to do because you don't even need a piping tip. You just get a piping bag. Okay, it's very easy. Let me just grab a piping bag. So if you want to bake a lot, Phoon Huat's your best friend. Okay, everybody remember, Phoon Huat's your best friend. They have everything in the world you need there. So now I can't find my scissors. Wash.
Before we have the official lockdown where like cake shops, barber shops are not allowed to open, Phoon Huat is one of the stores that has the longest queue, probably after McDonald's.
And then I heard he's sold out and everything.
Yeah, that's
So
right.
what you do is just get your bag.
Yes.
The tip, this is at the end. Now, if you don't want to go and buy all the fancy tips, you just cut a hole here, like this, and then you put in some. I have some frosting here. Oh wait, it's in the. Oh no, there it is. I can actually I can show it to you on the plate.
Okay.
It's really easy. Gosh, now you make me want to have a baking show. The first demo I've ever done.
You should
Yeah,
start
you're
a baking
natural.
show.
So what you're gonna do is you cut a hole. This is your piping bag, and then what you do to support it is you get a glass. So you get a mug or a glass like this.
Okay.
You put the. This is my mug. Yeah. So you just put the bag in there, and you tuck it over like this. That's it.
Okay.
Some frosting. I don't have any plain cakes to show you because I've got a done up cake already. So you got take the frosting just like that. Okay. And then you just push it towards the end. And that's already a circle, right?
Yeah.
Then you just pipe like this.
Oh.
Wow.
There you go. You don't even need
Nice.
a tip.
Yeah.
Or you even want to do something different, you can do little, like, little knobs of such. And that gives it like a very modern look on the cupcake. Yeah.
Okay.
Or you can do little circles. You don't even need a piping tip. It's so easy, especially we all not like thinking it's fussy and all that. But I can even show you some with the. I have my piping tip here. I have a whole bunch of I have a toolbox. Now, if you want to pipe, the best one I recommend for anyone to get is the 1M. It's a star tip.
Oh, okay.
This is your best friend for cupcakes. If you need to have any tip, this is the tip to get. And I'll show you what that looks like. Okay. So I'll get another bag. So what you do when you have a tip, you snip a bit off the end, not too much. Just snip a little bit off the end like this. And then you put your piping tip inside and make
Okay.
sure the plastic doesn't cover the edges. Yeah.
Ah,
All
okay.
right. And then same thing again. You put it into your mug. You put your frosting in. If you want to do something different, you can put even 2 different colors of icing in, and then you can create two-tone effects. It's really so pretty and easy. I can show you 2 styles. One is your classic swirl, like you see on all, like, you know, the cupcakes. So you start like, so you start from the outside, you pipe or circle, you go into the center, finish, and then you do the other part on top. And this is your classic ice cream swirl.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
So it's 2
okay.
layers.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yes. Now I'll show you one. I have to use another plate because I made a big one there. I'll show you another one where it's a rose.
A
Oh.
rose.
So you want to impress. You just, so you can start from the center, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You pipe it, you lift up, and then you go over that bud,
Okay.
over here and over, and you get your rose.
Ah, okay.
Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah.
It's a very simple rose. You want to do a proper rose, you got to get those like rose petal tips, and then you got to like sit there and individually like pipe
Oh,
each
okay.
one.
Yeah.
So you see, it's really easy and it's actually really fun. People think you're really, really fancy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what. But now with this cupcake, so what I paired this cupcake with is a coconut cream cheese frosting. So if you want the measurements, it's 100 grams of cream cheese, 100 grams of butter unsalted, 160 grams of cream cheese. Everything room temperature. Okay, never be too cold,
Okay.
never be too hot. Especially in
Yeah.
Singapore, the kitchen gets really stuffy. Aircon, please. Okay. So you
Okay.
mix that. No, I know. I used to sweat in my kitchen. It was not fun.
Yeah.
So mix this for 5 minutes, the butter and the cream cheese, and then you make sure you have 100 grams of icing sugar ready. I don't put a lot of sugar in my frosting. I
Okay.
cannot tahan all those American
Yeah, the too sweet
style,
one.
greeny and just eating like, you know. So 100 grams of icing sugar in 2 separate intervals for 5 minutes
Okay.
each. You beat, very, very nice and fluffy. And then you get 2 tablespoons of coconut milk. You need that coconut taste. Inside, it's quite complicated. I'll tell you why. It's a gula melaka caramel.
Wow. Oh my God.
We can maybe email to the reader. You know, it's quite a tedious process to do. But if you like, I can cut this up and then you can see what I mean by a fluffy cupcake.
Okay.
So this is the best part. It's the cutting. So you can see, you know it's a fluffy cupcake when you open it and you look at the texture.
Bouncy.
Soft and
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah, it's not dense.
Yes.
See? And these are some little scraps I cut out from the cupcake because I have to cut the centers out when I have to put the caramel in. And this is what the center looks like. And you see?
Yeah. Wow.
Yes.
Fluffy.
Nice. Yes.
Fluffy. All right, so here we go. There. We're gonna cut this in half and see what a gula melaka onde cupcake looks like in the center. So, ready?
1, 2, 3.
So yummy.
Now I make you all jealous, huh?
Yeah.
Very, very jealous.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Oh man.
Goodness. Why do you have to do this?
Yeah.
I've been baking so many of these, but I've not actually had one. And now I'm like, okay. And there you have it, folks. On the cupcake.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing all the tips. How we wish you were there to receive it and taste it for ourselves.
Indeed, how I wish. I really, really miss your cupcake
Yeah.
now, Choy.
Yes. So to
Just
our
there.
viewers, yeah, if any of you would like to have the recipe, let us know. Type recipe in the comments, and then we will get the recipe from Troy and share it with you later on.
Yep. Happy to.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Oh man, okay, it's time for me. I think I really need to try this recipe one day. But first, I need to have a KitchenAid because I do not have that.
It's really, honestly, it's really worth the investment because it has not even died on me once. Yeah, 14
Yeah,
years old.
14 is
Yeah,
a
it's really
long time. Yeah.
Yeah, they last 20 over years. That's why I bought them. It's the one. It's probably the oldest thing I have in my kitchen. Is my KitchenAid.
But it
It's been
still
with
looks
me
so
so
brand
long.
new, It still looks very
Yeah,
in good
yeah, it
condition.
is.
It looks good. It looks good.
Yeah, I got the
Ah,
granite. It's a bit
ah,
more um, textured, so it doesn't
mm-hmm.
wear and tear. Yeah, it's
Ah,
one of
okay.
the cupcakes I've baked in this baby, and it's
Yeah,
still alive. It's amazing. Yeah.
okay. Okay, let me see. Okay, let's see whether we have any comments from our audience.
Lots,
Yes.
lots of comments. Yes, we want the recipe. Greta,
Yeah.
Greta, and Angeline, they want the recipe.
Yes.
I will get
Yeah.
and be able to share the notes with you.
Yeah. And what other flavors of cupcakes do the audience want? Here we have from Robin, raisin cupcakes. Lots and
Raisin
lots
cup.
of raisins.
Rum and raisin, Robin, rum and raisin.
And
Only
then,
the
Actually,
rhyme probably for Robin.
yeah.
the
Then
rum for
Angeline
Robin.
would love to have blueberry cupcakes.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Robin also
Yeah.
mentioned marble cupcake. Don't know whether is that possible. Marble
Marble,
cupcake.
marble is basically you just gotta make a vanilla batter and a chocolate batter, and then you just gotta combine together and just twist you get a long skewer or toothpick, and then you just
Yep.
twist through it. That creates the
Okay.
sheets. You don't
Okay.
over mix a marble cupcake because then it will get the colors might mesh together. So
Yeah.
having that toothpick draw through it, you create enough of that effect. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Durian? No thanks. Sorry, I'm not a durian fan. I'm not so sorry. Different
Greta,
style.
Yeah.
Greta asks, will ginger works in the cupcakes?
That's interesting.
Ginger.
Ginger is quite a strong flavor. I recommend probably using it in a buttercream actually. If you think about ginger lemon, it's quite zingy. So what you can do is you when you're making the buttercream, you chop the ginger, but you infuse it in milk. So you boil the ginger in milk for say 2 minutes, not too much, and let it sit like that for maybe 10-20 minutes, and the taste of the ginger will then come into the milk, and you can use that to make a buttercream with it, because ginger can get lost in a cake batter sometimes unless you have candied ginger that you can chop in there. But when you when you infuse milks with different kinds of flavors and you use that for your icings, the flavors really come through very beautifully. You can do it with lemongrass. I've done lemongrass before. Lemongrass. I did like a rhubarb tea. So I actually infused the tea bag with milk and I made an icing with it, and you could taste the rhubarb tea aftertaste. It was really nice and delicate because ginger is very strong flavor. You want it to be very delicate on the palate, that you give a bit of a zing but not too spicy. And you can do that with you can mix it with lemon juice in a buttercream. I think it'll be wow. Now you gave me a new flavor profile idea. Yeah, so things like that with strong flavors, you can create that in cupcakes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay,
Wow.
Greta and me vouch for Sarawak coffee cupcakes.
Yeah.
Yay! Brought this back from Sarawak. I'm dying to use
Are
it.
those coffee beans?
No, it's a grounded coffee. So actually, I will actually percolate some coffee with this.
Okay.
Oh, be sure. I'm thinking of making like a condensed milk filling, like condensed
Wow.
milk curd.
Wow.
Yeah, sounds so good.
Wow, this looks
Wow.
amazing. So let me
Although
experiment in the next few weeks, and then I'll share those with you.
we are torturing ourselves, with this
I'm
session.
so sorry.
I wanted to tell Troy that the minute you can come back to Singapore, please come.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'll be sending, guys, I used to go to office, like, I don't know how many times I bring cupcakes to the office in the
Yes,
morning.
correct.
Every month is something new.
Correct.
Yeah.
Again, I ila.
We don't mind being your guinea pig all over again, every time.
Yeah. We really miss your cupcakes. I really, really miss your cupcakes.
Oh, Robin raised up a very interesting flavor. He said jackfruit cupcake.
Wow.
Jackfruit.
I don't know. Jackfruit's not up my alley, so sorry. Any fruit that comes inside a thorny fruit is not.
Okay.
Rambutan, those sort of one, okay,
Yeah.
lychee can, but don't ask me to make jackfruit, durian, no. Pingsan first.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, let me see. Okay, good.
I think we have
Yeah.
covered. I think we have covered all the comments already. Got everybody super excited. I think this weekend, Phu Huat business is gonna be very good all over again.
Yes.
If you guys really want to try to get pandan, my sister says actually sometimes if you go to Tiong Bahru Market, you go to the vegetable seller, they're just dying to give away the pandan for free. Just go dig.
Really?
Oversupply, is it?
Yeah. My sister said they were giving it away for free. So, and here I have to pay for it, like not so much. But if you can, just give it a go lah. But if you got a juicer or presser lah.
Maybe like what you do lah, the traditional method lah, pounding it.
No. I have a trusty machine for that. Thank God. Otherwise, I'll be a kitchen all day.
Okay. So I think that's about it for today's chatter. So before we end it off, I'd just like to share with everybody about our virtual talk this Friday. This Friday, we'll be inviting Miss Nuri, who's representing Gangwon-do province of South Korea, to come on board to share about this lovely destination. Yeah. We feature quite a bit of our cycling and hiking itineraries in Gangwon-do. So if you'd like to know more about this beautiful province, please tune in this Friday at 9:30 p.m. on our Facebook Live. For next Wednesday chatter, we have our representative from Guide Dog Singapore, who will be coming on board to share about all the amazing work they are doing for their beneficiaries.
So this session will be rebroadcast and you can find it on our Facebook page later. If you enjoyed today's chatter, don't forget to give us a like, comment, and share. Remember, we have 2 souvenirs from Ihan Carino to be won. Contests will close this Friday, so you can continue to comment or share our post with your friends and family.
Yes, and once again, big thank you to Choy for your time in sharing how to bake the fluffy cupcakes. Before we go offline, shall we take a group photo together?
Sure. Where's
She's
Choy?
gone already. Okay, never mind. I will text her later. So thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. And thank you to Choy too for sharing us the recipe. And see you again this Friday.
See you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.